This city was one filled with gunfire, and everyone's daily work revolved around cannons. Every building in the city was a lookout tower, equipped with cannons. The students learned how to fire cannons in class. Other teachers didn't teach anything else but cannon-related knowledge. In the center of the city, there was a huge machine gun, a particularly powerful weapon. To even start it, an entire workshop of workers was required. Although it fired constantly, no one had ever witnessed its destructive power. In fact, no one even knew who their enemy was, and the purpose of their war seemed to be just to wage war. Jack was a boy from an ordinary family in the city, and he had a dream. He wanted to become an excellent artilleryman. Every morning, the first thing Jack did was salute the portrait of the artillery commander, which hung on his wall. His mother would prepare breakfast for him and his father before sending them off. His father would go to the factory to make ammunition. At school, Jack learned everything about cannons. In math class, the teacher taught the students to calculate enemy positions using trigonometry. In physics and chemistry, the teachers taught them how to use weather conditions to execute precise artillery strikes. Although Jack listened, his attention always wandered to the massive cannons, especially when they were about to fire. Meanwhile, Jack's father worked at the huge cannon, one of the artillerymen. His father repeated the monotonous task of loading and unloading. Every day, he replaced many rounds of ammunition, and when the cannon's scheduled firing time arrived, the cannon barrel would begin to extend. Workers like Jack's father were responsible for transporting the ammunition and loading the shells. Everyone had to wear gas masks because the smoke from the cannon was toxic. Before each shot, the control room would calculate the angle and trajectory, and the pressure chamber would adjust the settings. Then, the central command would order everyone to evacuate the area. Finally, the commanding officer would press the button to fire. After the cannon fired, everyone stopped their work and cheered, but it wasn't out of genuine excitement. It was the result of years of indoctrination by those in power. They couldn't even rest properly during meals because they knew their enemy wouldn't care about their feelings. Yet, they didn't even know who their enemy was, or where they were. All they saw were craters and barren land. Outside the factory, a man was promoting a new type of gunpowder, claiming it would ensure everyone's health. But he still had many unsold gas masks hanging on him as he encouraged the workers to fight for the right to work in a healthy environment. At school, children wearing music helmets were taken away. During lunch, workers rested briefly, exhausted from their tasks. The women chatted to pass the time. This was the only personal time they had, apart from their endless work defending the city. Soon, the next round of cannonballs was being loaded. Then, an accident occurred. As the crane was about to lower the cannonball, it malfunctioned and released the load too early. Jack's father almost got injured, but his supervisor didn't care whether he was hurt. Instead, he criticized Jack's father for being careless and punished the whole team. They were forced to stay close to the cannon, ready for the next shot, despite the extreme danger. The higher-ups knew how dangerous this was but insisted on absolute obedience. This was their way of testing the compliance of the working class. By evening, the family returned to their humble home at the bottom of the city. The television constantly replayed programs, news, TV shows, and cartoons, all promoting one slogan: fire, fire with all your might, to serve the city. Jack asked his father who their enemies were. His father didn't know how to answer, only telling Jack that he would understand when he grew up. Before bed, Jack would look at the portrait in the house. He promised himself that when he grew up, he would surpass his father and become an artilleryman. After all, over years of discipline, firing the cannon at the enemy had become ingrained in Jack's mind, just like the alarms outside the window or the beams of light that occasionally